Our final question today before we go to AOB, which is any other business, and your messages to the incoming students from Africa and your advices. Let me read a question from Sule Abdul. Is from Benin. He said he's from Benin. Benin should be Benin. He said, "Can I do a research in French language, in a Japanese university? How cold is Japan weather?" No, that is a good question. Though. You are laughing.
Yeah.
It's a part of the whole thing. So, how do you get his question right? Do you have some universities that offer courses in Dr. Ufot? I know you speak many languages because so how far? Do you have a choice of language?
I doubt that the French maybe, except it's on it's a research that is based with French history or French language, French literature. Or, even politics might be hard. It will be more of, it will be in the arts area, not in the sciences. I doubt. I think that was the first part of the question, and then in terms of the weather, it's cold, and it's colder depending on the region you are.
Yeah.
And the kind of house you are in too, because we started from the $100 a month house to
where you are today,
$1,000 and $2,000 and all that. So the higher it gets, the warmer it becomes.
I know they say the higher you go, the cooler it becomes.
No, the higher.
Which one is the proper English then?
I was.
The higher you go,
the cooler it becomes.
the hotter it becomes.
The hotter it becomes inside.
No, exactly.
I mean.
What are you guys? What are these doctors teaching me?
No, but when you know those houses that are the plywood where there's there's a little bit space in between where they put your head close to the blow whistle, you'll be hearing. I've stayed in that type. But one thing I've also learned in staying in those kind of places that I'm going to, more warmer houses, is that at the end of the day, what actually just happens is that the clothes you wear inside the house just becomes lighter.
Yeah.
So in a very cold house or in a very old house, the houses I stayed at first were made in the 70s and 60s.
Yeah, I understand. Then you need more clothes.
You wear more clothes. And
so your message, you want to say something? Sorry, your message here, Dr. Ford, your message is it is cold and colder depending on where you live in Japan.
Like in
Hokkaido, the northern part of Japan is colder than Tokyo and some other parts. And again, it depends on where you live. But I think...
can I answer the first part of that question?
The first part should be research in language.
The first question I would start by asking a question is, why would you come to Japan to study French? Why not?
No. He's asking if
I'm coming
to study in French.
Just like you're studying in English.
Yeah.
If he can study in French in any of the,
that is, I don't know any school. That's my answer. Why would you come to study in French in Japan?
Let me tell you one thing. You're getting this in very, very wrong, if I may say, because French-speaking countries, like even France themselves, if they want to do a course in Japan, they would prefer to have it in French. So
I think when I first when I first heard this question, what came into my mind was that he was talking about
studying French program.
Literature. No, not French program, but maybe a PhD or a postdoc, which involves research. I think the question had research in French.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because basically in PhD and postgraduate, except for us who are engineering students that do experiments and build
a lot of wire connections.
But in the arts, what you do is you do a lot of reading, brainstorming, and discussion and whatnot. So that then can be actually done in French, because in my PhD I did most of
So what did you research during your PhD?
In my PhD I did a lot of stuff in English.
No, that's not what I'm asking. What's your field? I mean, you connect wire from...
It's I'm electrical electronics, but I did.
You build machine.
I did more of emergency strategies for electric vehicles. And
please break it down. Which kind of emergency?
So basically, there are some parts of the electrical vehicle that, like inverter, let's say the inverter.
I'm coming to you.
When it breaks down,
yes,
the vehicle can't move again. It's not like
okay,
the normal vehicle.
No.
No. And what I'm trying to say is, if you were, for instance, running on a highway in the middle of the night,
yes,
or in the Sahara in Africa, if that vehicle broke down there,
yeah,
it's almost impossible to do anything to the vehicle.
Okay.
One of which the gear can't be changed, so you can't even push it. In most cases, I think the newer electrical has solved that problem. But in the first generations, you couldn't even push the car, you couldn't start the car. So this was a big disadvantage for electric vehicles. And for me, coming from Africa, I think this was one point in which I was trying to see how do we get electric vehicles to be more reliable in terms of risk management. And so, but it was.
How do you think your research or your vocation can help Nigeria, your country, can help your country?
Well, I don't know how we're going to delve into that one.
Honestly, I wouldn't like to receive that question.
Be very careful. Why am I annoyed here now?
But
we have what it takes.
No, I think I believe that is that's an understatement when you say we have what it takes, because I think
we don't have.
We have more
than it takes.
Sorry, now you've corrected it right.
To be honest, I've had God has given me the opportunity to be in the same room with, especially in my field, with the best brains. I mean,
I understand.
And the smartest of the smartest, and the ones who have done a lot from the old generation of the 70s up till today. Whether in conferences, I've had the opportunity to interact with them, some of them to work with them, some of them to argue with them on technology, and those discussions which I've enjoyed. And to be honest, working with them side to side, every day I look at myself and say, what are they even doing that we can't do? There's nothing special in what they are doing, right? It's all about management and having that focus.
Let me not delve into that. Let me not delve into that, because I know if we go there now, it's another topic altogether.
It will take us another.
Don't say. Ikenna is a rebrand ambassador, and of course you have found you base your argument on integrity. Yes, you've set up a lot of info club. If you watch the net right now, you see a lot of activities of your boys, moving to school, preaching while you're not there. How were you able to put that into them? How were you able to make them accept your ideology, that it is right, which I support too?
I think it has to do with my personality, what I represent, and what a lot of people have been yearning for. I think what I've just done is that I presented a platform where like minds, have been able to converge to, reproduce what we have already had in our mind for years. So I'm not there, but I'm also there because of the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm online with them almost every now and then, giving directives and receiving reports about what they do. So right now we are in about 12 Nigeria states, and we are on different campuses now. So today we have in Nigeria they have a community service.
Okay.
Today, Saturday, so they are going to clean a lot of places. And if you watch, most of them have PhD students.
That's scholars who understand this.
The least of them just has first degree, and they are really doing a lot of. Some of them are even lecturers at the universities in Nigeria.
And they turn to follow you.
They turn to follow my ideas.
Yes.
So I think the commendation I got from the government of Nigeria played a huge role. The honors and the awards and the accolades also played a huge role to assemble all these people to follow me to achieve this. So I think basically my not being there has never been an impediment, because the course is just, it's something every normal human being would follow.
Yeah. I think what you're doing is yet it's just like a plume or a mustard seed. You know, you're breeding it. You know, so to what extent do you want it to grow? I mean, it's going to be large. Info club. So when you mention it, integrity comes in, and people want to, just like this is the way they formed all this Rotary Club. They form all these, well-known
like minds.
Like minds. Yeah, I mean, when people see them, they say they are ndogwego. You understand my point? Yeah, but these are fraternity. These are, I mean, people of like mind coming together to believe in one thing. And if that thing can direct the society to the right direction, I mean, it creates a wave. So I'm sure to what extent would you want it to grow? I mean, in size and in shape and everything.
Info Club started at Info Club Nigeria.
Yes.
But now it's Info Club International.
Okay.
So, as I said before, we operate in about 12 states and with FCT.
Yeah.
And very soon we'll be moving to Gabon and Ghana. So, I see it as something that would, outlive me. I mean, after I have no more, it will continue. It's in the mold of Rotary Club, as you already stated.
Yeah.
So, we want to be able to catch the young generation and influence their perspective, how they view life and what they value. Because at the end of the day, we came into this world with nothing, and we'll leave this world with nothing. So the craze to accumulate wealth at all costs is actually one of the reasons why we are where we are today. So the Info Club basically, for now, is just within Nigeria. But it's in the western part of Nigeria, south and southeast. It has, of course, it's not in the 36 states, but it is in every region of Nigeria. Yeah. And we are now doing what we call integrity contest. We are high school students make a minute video defining integrity and how they think it can be enshrined in our system. And we are also doing a massive campaign. As you can see in the pictures, we go to schools almost every week. In Osun State, in Kaduna State, in Imo and everywhere. So basically by next year, or even before the end of this year, we'll be moving straight to Gabon.
Thank you. That's a wonderful thing. When you have ambition, ambition that must be paid. That is what my father used to tell me. Before you guys came, Dr. Ufot, I surfed the internet and I saw where I think there is a place in Akwa Ibom where they put your should I call it a Fiji or what? What should I call it? Status.
A billboard.
Thank you. A very huge billboard bearing this Ufot Ekong, a doctor at 30. You know the word.
Probably he has not seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
I saw it.
Really?
Yes. When they put a billboard, and again when you received an award.
Okay, I've seen that one.
I've seen the award.
I've seen the pictures of the award, but I've not seen the billboard.
Okay, I could read your face.
You should try to solve.
I've been running away from some social media.
But I'm aware you were honored heavily in Akwa Ibom when you made that tremendous achievement in Japan.
During our 30th anniversary as a state.
Yes.
I was humbled to be honored with a lot of people that were older than me with 20, 30 years, sharing the stage with them.
Yeah.
And I think it was just inspiring that because it wasn't something I'd had so much attention had been coming over the years, which I was even running away from. And, so when this letter came that I would be honored for the award, I actually had a conference 2 days after the award. So for the first time, I spent less than 80 hours in Nigeria.
Oh, really?
I flew to Lagos, flew from there to Akwa Ibom the night before the awards, got the awards. Immediately after getting the award, the first flight out of Akwa Ibom the next day was how I got out of. And then I came back to Japan. So in other words, I came in with the 20-something hours flight, spent just a few hours, and I was back. And then when I got back to Japan, that night I went home, and the next morning I flew again out for that conference where I was going to. So I already told the government I couldn't make it, but the government insisted that I should. But I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And that is one of, I think it's inspiring to a lot of younger people.
Exactly.
That is why I've always had, I think we've had this discussion a lot of times. My main goal has always been on education and I always tell people that I think where I'll end up would be, I'll end up as
not as a pilot like your father.
Not as my father. I'll end up as a lecturer or professional. I just see that is the last job I will hold.
I want you to challenge Professor Kiichaou, because he said he's the youngest. He got his professorship at the age of what? So I want you to pursue that.
No, I don't want to become a professor. The weight is too heavy.
You can't avoid that if you start teaching.
You know the point?
No, I mean at the end.
At the end part, they're not now.
What I'm saying at the end, I'm looking at 55, 60. Okay, well, anyway, I can become a professor by 70, but it's still. But I'm saying that. I'm interested in education.
The most important thing in this chat we have in now, because of course we know we have finished the results, and I wanted to, use the tactics to let our audience know the caliber of persons that are sitting here. They might think it's everybody that can call you and pull you out and say you should come, and you rise up and start coming. No, me myself, when you start growing old, you start building solid foundation for the future generations. And who are these people that will build this foundation? Are people like you, who are there, who you have known how it works. You've excelled in your field as genius and geniuses all over. So when you make a statement, people should learn from them. That is why I decided to branch off.
I think Professor Lumumba, if I'm correct, from Kenya, makes this point very well, where he says that one generation would plant the seeds, the next generation will water the seeds.
Exactly.
The third or the fourth generation will bear the fruits.
Yes.
So I think that the first a lot of people have laid the foundation for us in Nigeria, in Japan as Africans, and how we can take that to the next level
matters a lot. So before I go to the closing point of this conversation today, it's quite scholarly. What message do you have for? In few words, what message do you have, or advice do you have for, would-be scholars to Japan from Africa, or even those that are already here on the ground? What are your messages, Dr. Ufot? Prepare your message.
I would have expected that you would have gone the other way. I'm always very careful recently, since I became a company worker. Because when you're a researcher and you say it in technology, you say it as it is, how you see it. You can't, it's science, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't agree to disagree. It's either the result shows
this or that,
But when it comes to things that have to do with a little of emotions, especially when you're in company politics and whatnot, you become more reserved. And recently I've been fighting in between being a researcher and being a team player and a company worker.
Yes.
But then, going back to that question, I would say, Japan, my advice is for anyone who wants to study and study hard, who has that interest, for instance, in engineering, for instance, what I know of electrical electronics engineering and maybe mechanical engineering, automobile, if one is really serious and interested, especially when it comes from master's to PhD, and you come to Japan, you will excel. That's why I always say my favorite quote is continuity is power. It's not just about being so smart
from day one, or you continue.
Sometimes as you just continue, just keep getting better. And so my advice is, if you just want to do that style of just graduate, take the degree and go back, don't stress yourself. Better go to somewhere like the UK. I'm saying so because I'm not saying the UK standard is low, but I'm saying your hurdles might be reduced because one, the English side,
exactly.
familiarization. My twin sister, who is studying in the US, she lives in the US. My other siblings all live in the UK and study in the UK. So I can say I have an idea of what Europe and US and
looks like
Japan is. I know, like we were discussing earlier, you have that ability to work. And your holidays, we have holidays 2 months in summer, 2 months in spring, and I think end of the year too. So there's that time where you can work and make, for someone like me who was private finance, to make enough money for your living. So Japan is a place where if you come and you're hardworking, you can excel. But if you're not serious about, if you can't, I don't know how to find the right words.
No,
but
you have said it all.
I'm trying to be, to be
you have
fair.
said it all.
So if you're really serious,
you will achieve.
You would not even be the one that gets you the scholarships. The people around you would see your seriousness, and with humility, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
A lot of scholarships, a lot of grants, a lot of opportunities that came my way was because
people around you,
the people around me, the teachers, the senseis could see my zeal. They used to ask me, why are you in school at 7 a.m. when school starts at 9? Well, I used to come back from work at 6.
Yeah.
So I was already tired, and if I sleep, I will not wake up to go to the
because
class.
Because you were working at McDonald's at that time.
I was doing McDonald's, I was doing the shipping company also in the middle of the night. So I had to go and do my assignment before. So when the teachers saw this for the first 1 month, and I didn't know they were gossiping
and
about
your school was really expensive.
It was very expensive.
Tokai. Yeah.
The next semester, they gave me, that was when I first got that JASO. I didn't apply for a JASO. It was the day before that because I thought I wouldn't get it.
They saw your competence.
They saw that zeal.
That zeal in you.
That zeal. So when you come and you're really interested, people would, that's why, like Ekong was saying, when you're applying for most scholarships, the last document you apply in scholarship is your school results.
Yeah, exactly.
All the other documents from number 1 to maybe number 19 are where are you born from, why did you choose to come to Japan, how long have you been in Japan, why did you, what has been your progress, how do you study. So to show that what they are really interested in is your zeal,
your commitment to why
you know, here. How motivated are you? It still backs down to what we're saying about if you want to do PhD research or a professor.
Exactly.
So that zeal, if you have zeal and you're hard working in Japan, I think the sky is.
If you have zeal and you're hard working, the zeal is cohesion in Japanese. I mean, hard working. I mean, consistency. You will excel in Japan from Dr. Ufot Ekong. That's his advice to worldwide audience. Mr. Ikenna Nweke, what do you have for your boys?
I think my advice, I think everything Dr. Ufot said is in line. And I want to add that you really have to appreciate Japanese culture. You cannot detach yourself from the larger society. When they understand that that is why when you are going to an interview, they want to ask you more about Japan. You know, about Japan, how you relate with people. I've seen people come here and they want to build a wall between them and the Japanese society. It doesn't work that way. And as he said, Japan is just gambaro. If they see you are doing your best, they will help you. So you really have to put in your best. My advice is this. Coming to study in Japan is noble. If you're already here, you can as well see that it's enough. You didn't make the wrong decision. But again, you have to really try to divide your time and your work, because time is everything in Japan. So you have to really be time efficient, know how to manage time. And there are a lot of opportunities in Japan beyond being a student. So take advantage of those opportunities. So for those who are outside, please come and study in Japan. You will regret your date.
Thank you really very much, Mr. Ikenna Nweke. This is another scholarly advice to our worldwide audience. Our distinguished guest today, how many of you remembers the name of this program? Nandemo Kiichaou. Can you pronounce that in Japanese?
Nandemo Kiichaou.
Oh. What does it mean in English?
No, ask anything.
Nandemo Kiichaou means ask anything. Mr. Ikenna Nweke, Nandemo Kiichaou, Nihongo daju ka? Sabitinja. Nandemo Kiichaou, what you mean?
Nihongo de?
Yes.
Ask anything.
No. You are translating when you. Nandemo Kiichaou.
Nandemo Kiichaou.
Of course, you got it right. What I played here. Nandemo Kiichaou means ask anything.
Yeah.
By the name of this project, ask anything you want. It means you can bring any kind of question. Of course, we must screen them to know the one that legally allowed to be discussed in the first place. So, and once it is allowed to be discussed, we must make sure we bring, Nahfconnects must make sure we bring in professionals. If your question is about Japan, how it works in Japan in different areas, civil matters, legal matters, and whatever, we'll make sure we bring experts in those fields to come and answer the question in a dramatic way, this way, to make sure you never lack or you never suffer the worst form of human degradation because of not knowing. Asking questions matters a lot. Even in classes, when you do not understand, you ask questions. This Nandemo Kiichaou project, ask whatever you want. We did not limit it to only foreigners coming to Japan to study, but it is still open for Japanese people who may want to know one or two things happening in Africa, or one or two things happening within the African community here. Once it doesn't go to the extent of, people's privacy, we will definitely bring in experts from those countries to come and tell you such cultures, even socio-cultural issues, such cultures are being done this way, so that you will never learn them in a very different way to avoid embarrassment when you visit those countries. So we are open. This is the first time that we, started recording. This is the part 1 of this Nandemo Kiichaou project. And I'm really very happy to have with me the most and the top-notch of academicians. I mean, people who have excelled in their fields. Dr. Ufot, Dr. Engineer Ufot Ekong, and Mr. Ikenna Nweke. But probably by March, we will be moving for his professorship. Is it, Doctor? Yeah. So I am really very happy and very, very confident that you will enjoy this project, because it's highly, 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 important for you to know what you want to do before, going to any country, or when you are in any country, to know the right people to ask questions, or where to go and get the accurate question that you might not see in Google. Because I always tell people that if you search for Google, Google always it takes time for them to bring up something. But day by day activities in Japan about foreigners or about Africans, before it gets there, you can find them and know, where will I get this? Where will I get that? You get them right away. For everyone, please bring forward your question, and we will find people who will answer those questions for you. Thank you very much for listening to us, and we will come to you for part 2 as soon as possible, because we have a lot of questions piled, but we choose from according to chronologically how the questions arrived here. So if you didn't hear your question today, do not think we will not treat it again. It's coming at part 2. Thank you, Nandemo Kiichaou.
Much